Yo, what's going on, guys? Anthrax here. So today I'm doing my first video and hopefully a series of leading up to the election of 2020 of key Senate races. The first one I'm looking at is Arizona, so let's get into it. So some things to know going into the video. This Senate seat is up under special circumstances following the death of Senator John McCain. The winner of this special election serves out the rest of the seat's term, which will end in 2022. And once that happens, I'd assume the senator who wins this election will run for a full 6-year term, or if not, there'll be another open primary election. And at the bottom, I have some information about Arizona. Pretty much, it's a typical Republican state that's been trending blue recently off of a large population growth of Latinos. So the Republican candidates for this election, we have Martha McSally and Ann Griffin. So Martha McSally is the current incumbent senator from Arizona who holds this seat. She was appointed to the seat following the retirement of former Senator Jon Kyl. She ran for the other Arizona Senate seat in 2018, but lost to Kyrsten Sinema. She received 47.6% of the vote to Sinema's 50%. We'll get to that later. She previously served as one of the representatives from Arizona's District 2 from 2014 to 2018. She was the first female Republican representative from the state of Arizona. She graduated from the United States Air Force Academy in 1988, and McSally became the first female U.S. fighter pilot to fly in combat and the first woman to command a fighter squadron. Ann Griffin has worked as a family involvement specialist at the business she owns, Arizona's Family Matters, since 1997. I don't live in Arizona, so I'm not too familiar with what that is, but she can do more research on it if you like. She worked as a teacher for the Flagstaff Unified School District since 2009. She says she wants to offer Arizona voters a choice for a different kind of Republican. She's kind of like Jeff Flake in a way. She's moderate, but does a lot of views on smaller government and how government should get out of people's way, kind of. And she also says that a big problem is that a lot of conservatives like her and Jeff Flake have been kind of silenced since the election of President Trump. So the primary, I think it's going to go something around Martha McSally will win the primary, getting around 65% of the vote to Ann Griffin 35%. It may seem like a big margin, but for a primary, it's actually pretty substantial because Martha McSally is the incumbent going into this, and her opponent's taking a big percentage of the vote, and that shows kind of the discontent with different conservative voters, some who may favor more conservative values but aren't so happy with how President Trump is running things. And that shows Ann Griffin getting a big percentage of the vote. So for the Democratic side, there's Mark Kelly and Mohammed Arif. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Mark Kelly is an astronaut who was selected to be the NASA Space Shuttle pilot in 1996, and he flew his first mission in 2001. Kelly was also a Navy pilot and flew combat missions during the Gulf War. Kelly's wife, Representative Gabby Giffords of Arizona, was shot in an assassination attempt which flung Kelly into the national spotlight. Giffords did survive, but Kelly said that really affected him and made him much closer to God in his personal relationship. And he went on to say, quote, "It's really, really a sad situation. I'm hopeful that something positive will come out of it. I think that will happen, so that those are good things. I believe 6 people died in that shooting, but Giffords was luckily not one of them." And I had to say, Mark Kelly is one of the most interesting political backstories of all time. He was an astronaut, he served in the military, and his wife survived an assassination attempt. I mean, you can't get more I don't really know what to say, but it's very interesting. And Mohammed Arif was a 2018 Green Party candidate for the Arizona State Senate District 11. Arif was the Secretary of Treasury during Howard Johnson's California Senate campaign. He was elected executive member of the Kern County Central Committee of the Peace and Freedom Party, and Arif attended the Haley College of Commerce in Pakistan, receiving his master's degree in economics. In terms of political ID known, Arif and Ann Griffin both have very low name recognition in the state of Arizona, and that kind of plays into how they do in the primaries. In this primary, I have Mark Kelly winning the Democratic nomination, 87% to 13%. This is a wide margin. I expect Mark Kelly will do a lot better than Martha McSally because I think Mark Kelly, the name recognition is out there for him in the state of Arizona. People already know who he is. If they don't know him, they know his wife. Also, he's an astronaut, and how are you not going to vote for an astronaut in the primary? Come on. I mean, come on. So going into the 2020 Senate race, I expect it to be Mark Kelly representing the Democratic side and Martha McSally, the incumbent, representing the Republican side. So we're going to take a look back at some previous races in Arizona. This is the 2016 map of Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. Donald Trump did win this race 48.1% to 44.6%. I went through the liberty of putting kind of the vote margins in the districts for you. So if you want to pause the video and look at them, you can. But you can see that it's pretty spread out. There's a few close counties. Maricopa County, which I believe has Phoenix in it, and the suburb to the bottom left is county I'm not sure the name of. They're very, very close, and we'll see how that plays into effect in the 2018 Senate race. But it's kind of similar to a lot of states Trump won. The Republican counties are very rural, and Trump has to drive the margins up there to win. And the Democrat counties, Hillary Clinton won them pretty big, and she ran the vote totals up there. And then it comes down to Maricopa County, which is kind of becoming like Nevada, where it's kind of like Clark County, which has Las Vegas. A big percentage of the population lives in that county, so whoever wins it has a more than 50% chance of winning the election. So yeah, that's how it went in 2016. Here's in 2018, the Martha McSally race and Kyrsten Sinema race I was talking about. So Kyrsten Sinema, the Democrat, actually won this race. This is the first time they sent a Democrat back to the Senate in, I think, over 30 or 40 years, I think. You have to correct me on that, but I think it's 30 or 40 years. Pretty much in this race, the county map may look similar, but pretty much every conservative county got bluer, and every Democrat county got bluer as well. This race just Martha McSally did not have the numbers or the margins that Donald Trump had the year before. And in the midterms, a lot of the Senate races went to the Republicans. The Republicans gained 2 or 3 Senate seats. This is one where the Democrats picked up that Jeff Flake held, and Jeff Flake wasn't really popular, so it was hard for Martha McSally to try and get both sides of the Republican wing, which he did have trouble with. But also the fact that Kyrsten Sinema was a very moderate Democratic candidate by political standards. She was no Bernie Sanders, and she was no Joe Manchin either, or Jim Webb, but she played both sides well. She got the progressives and she got the moderates, and that definitely helped her out a lot, especially in the suburbs of Maricopa County, where she actually flipped that county with 51 to 47. And if you'll remember back to the Donald Trump Hillary Clinton race, President Trump actually won that county. So for Kyrsten Sinema to flip it kind of shows the significance of winning that county and how you perform in that state. So recent polling, there really isn't much polling out of Arizona yet. There's only been 1 or 2 polls, and I had to go on Wikipedia to find them. Both from the same news source, so polling's pretty much out the window at this point. The only poll we have has Martha McSally at 45% to Mark Kelly at 44%, with an average of McSally at +1. I mean, let me just say right now, polls in general can be very tricky to read and interpret because you can get a poll to say anything. But at this stage, we're more than a year and 3 months away from the elections. Polls mean absolutely nothing right now. So even though McSally's up 1, this is 100% within the margin of error, so it doesn't even matter. 2, it's 1%, it doesn't matter. 3, it doesn't matter. Going into this race is essentially just anyone's best guess, and polls don't really count. So before we go on, I just want to say please remember to like and subscribe for more content. It means a lot. I really appreciate it when you like and subscribe. It helps me keep the channel going. It also helps me give ideas for more videos I should make. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I know some people have been wanting me to do election nights, and I have been working on that. I'm currently working on a Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden election night right now. So it's kind of taking a little longer than I thought. A lot goes into it, but I'm trying to get that out in the next few weeks. So yeah, please subscribe, please like the video, and now on to the Senate race prediction. So it is election night, November 3rd, 2020, 9 p.m. The Arizona polls close. And the polls closed 10% of precincts and early voting is already in. Martha McSally off to an early lead with 48.2% of the vote to Mark Kelly's 46.7% of the vote. Early voting gives McSally an early edge, but she did not do as well in the race in 2018, so if she is to win this race, Donald Trump being on the ticket certainly will help her among the conservatives that have turned out to vote for the president. Mark Kelly does not have the same advantages that Kyrsten Sinema has, that it's a off presidential election year, and coincidentally there was a Republican president, so Democratic turnout was more high in 2018 than expected in 2020. And now we have an nth prediction. It's like a projection, but an nth prediction because I think it sounds cool. At 12 a.m. at midnight, I'm guessing with 95% of the vote in, Martha McSally will be announced the winner, winning with 48.9% of the vote to Mark Kelly's 48.4% of the vote. This race will definitely be very close. Don't be fooled. This race will be a close one. Donald Trump has already won the state of Arizona about half an hour earlier. It will be a wider margin for him winning this seat, but Donald Trump will definitely carry Martha McSally over the finish line. Martha McSally will get more of the Trump conservative base turnout than she did back in 2018. She will be reelected for another 2 years, going back to Washington until 2022, where she will run for re-election in 2022, I guess. I also bet Mark Kelly will run in 2022 for the Democratic nomination as well. So to sum it up, Martha McSally beats Mark Kelly in my Arizona early look prediction going into 2020. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.